me get a beat, I kick it funky like feet. Let me get a beat, I kick it feet like. Let me get a beat, I kick it funky like feet. Let me get a beat, I kick it feet like. Let me get a beat, I kick it funky like feet.
All right, gentlemen, open up your Spotifys, and I need to know what's the very last track that you guys all have queued up right here, right now.
Oh my gosh!
No line. Put the phone up. What's the last Spotify or whatever iTunes you got streaming? What is it?
Oh my god!
All right, so I have kids, so mine is The Fray Maps.
The Fray. What is it? The Fray what?
The Fray is the band. I actually love The Fray.
I love The Fray.
And Maps is the last one.
White.
So I was having a discussion with my son who's 10 today about like good bands and like different types of music. Fired that up on the way home.
Good job, Dad.
I was running, so mine is Dasha. Here for the now. No, Here for the Party.
Dasha. DASH.
DASHA. Here for the party.
Not at this party, correct?
No, here for the party.
No, there is a track by Dasha.
Oh yeah,
not at this party. Alfaro, make me proud.
In true, I mean, come on, dude, right? Great White, rock me.
Oh,
right?
Yes,
nice.
Yes. God.
You knew I wouldn't disappoint you on that, dude. Come on.
This is why.
Come on.
This is why he's here. This is exactly. Guys, just listen to the beginning of this track. Crank it. Just listen to the little. Dave, talk about the soundtrack. Can you hear it?
This is just amazing blues rock, right?
Dude.
And then one of the most incredible voices in that biz, dude. Like up until he died, he still had all these high notes. Like he could barely walk, right?
Yes.
He had to have like two people help him on stage, but he could still hit those high notes, dude. The guy's amazing.
Sig is driving to Vegas, and right when you hit the 15, right over the pass, put this on, put it on cruise control, and the rest is history.
There we go.
Right?
This is that song. So it's Rock Me by Great White for those of you that did not grow up in the 80s. All right, so here's the next question. This is the what I like to refer to as the warm-up question. If you guys could go back to the late 80s or early 90s, and there's only one band that you could actually tour with for the entire year, one band, who would it be?
Wow.
So many from that era. You know what I mean?
I'd say Motley Crue.
Very good.
That'd probably be pretty wild. I would imagine some pretty big party days.
Live Wire. Yes.
Yes.
Saw them at a Whiskey A Go-Go. I think that was 87, somewhere early. Long hair, makeup. Never thought that long hair and makeup would actually be all that famous and popular, but man, was it? I don't know if it's coming back. Let's hope not. White?
Right.
I don't know. There's so many 80s, 90s bands that were so good. Duran Duran would have been fun.
I picked you for a grunge band. That's why I threw the early 90s in there. I thought you might go like STP, but Duran Duran, right on.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
Alfaro's thinking.
I'd have to go GNR.
Oh man, good one.
Yeah,
really good one.
Right? Although, I mean, that might be difficult to survive, right?
Yeah.
I would have to go GNR, right?
Yeah, definitely quite the experience that would be with the early Axl days, to say the least.
Yes.
Well, welcome to the jungle, guys. You guys ready to do the damn thing and get this party started?
Right.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. My name is EP, and this is Epic Hype.
Let me get a beat, I kick it funky like feet. Let me get a beat, I kick it feet like. Let me get a beat, I kick it funky like feet. Let me get a beat, I kick it feet like. Let me get a beat, I kick it funky like feet. Let me get a beat, I kick it feet like.
Today's show is sponsored by Tier 4 AI. Time is money and money is crime. So why are your teams still chasing alerts? Tier 4 AI, they automate every single security alert with full stack remediation and real-time response at the edge. This isn't just next-gen SecOps. This is built by the people who built the cloud. Reduce time, save money, stay secure. That's Tier 4 AI. You guys can go hop on over to tier4ai.com and ask for a demo. Ask Marvin for a demo. Tell him EP sent you and mention Epic, and you might just get something nice from the marvelous Marvin Wheeler. Blackhat's about to detonate in Vegas, but before the breach briefs and zero-day demos hit the main stage, we're going to drop the intel that actually matters to defenders on the edge. Welcome to Epic Hype, pre-Blackhat buzz, the no-spin zone for the startups and security savants, redefining what is meant to be all about detection, defending, and recovering. Ransomware isn't just knocking, it's already inside, rewriting firmware, hijacking cloud identities, and laughing at your backup plan. So today, we're bringing in 3 of the sharpest minds who don't just talk shop, they build the kill switches. You're about to hear from the cloud detective disrupting digital forensics at Intruvent, the recovery master who actually answers the 2 a.m. ransomware call at Alfaro, and the firmware phantom unveiling what your EDR can't see at Binarily. Buckle up. This is where cyber hype meets the hard truth. Allow me to introduce, like I said, the Motley Crew in this Epic Hype Lounge, aka the brains behind the next gen response stack. He is the watchtower architect at Intruvent. He's not just building detection. You could say he's architecting vengeance for the cloud, the founder of Intruvent, and a sentinel for modern identity and telemetry warfare. Give it up for the signal sniper himself. He is Sig Murphy. Sig, what is up?
Hey, thanks for having me, EP. I'm really excited to be here and talk about some security.
Rock and roll, my man. Next up is the recovery hitman at Alfaro. When ransomware drops, most teams panic. He executes. A Blackhat vet and the dude you call when you can't even boot your damn systems. He turns cyber triage into a tactical art form. Make some noise for the digital first responder himself, Mr. Dave White. Dave, what is up?
Hey, EP. Hey, guys. It's great to be here. Thanks for the invite, and it's awesome to be in the presence of some great coworkers from back in the day.
Absolutely. And let's get our last gentleman introduced here. Last but certainly not least, the firmware phantom with Binarily. Your EDR can't see him. Your SIM can't track him, but he's hunting what lurks beneath. The silent killer of firmware-born threats and hardware-level persistence. He's the stealth threat analyst rewriting the rules. I only listed him last year because his agents required an additional kicker of cash for me to announce him as featuring in front of his name. He is the legendary full-time cyber stud pulling firmware threats out of the shadows like a BIOS-level bounty hunter and a full-time dad, stud dad, and rocker for life. Ladies and gentlebugs, say hello to Binarily's best, Mr. Dave Alfaro.
What's happening, EP? And great to be in this little circle of gents once again, man. It brings back some amazing memories.
I was giddy when I could get all 4 of you guys to sync on a time, on a day, before the week before Blackhat. Let's face it, you guys are all running around. You guys are all setting up meetings. We got Sig that's got his MVP, getting ready to explore and explode next week. Dave, your company's doing, I've got 2 Daves here, so if we got to say the last names. Alfaro, your company's doing some great things. I just had one of your newbies to your family.
I know that.
Show yesterday, Barrett Elkins. We did a pre-Blackhat preview for the Startup Spotlight that, hey, Sig, maybe you'll be there next year. And then White, you got great things happening. It's awesome. Every time I hear somebody reference ransomware, I say, oh, you got to call my guy. We all got a guy. And I say, let me get you with my guy. And Mr. White is my guy. So Alfaro doing some great things over there. So, yeah, here we are. Guys, this is great because this is a loose one. I wanted to throw some topics on the table that are centric to what you guys are doing. Don't be shameless. Talk about what you guys are doing when we get into it. And also, let's talk about the buzz. People that are going to be watching the show. This is dropping a week before we got crowds in the Mandalay Bay, other sharks swimming around, so to speak. And, it's interesting. The topics that I threw out actually didn't have the letters AI, but I know we're going to be talking about AI. And I just want to hear where you guys are at and your guys' take. And I mean, the one thing that we all four share in common outside of working in cybersecurity is, we've worked for an epic organization back in the day, and now we're all four doing something different, but we're all still part of this family. I'm going to throw some topics out, and then Sig, why don't you grab one and you tell me where you want to go first? I've got 5 ransomware-centric topics, right? That's always a hot topic. People are trying to prevent. People are trying to detect what they've got. We could talk about the new kill chain, ransomware shift to initial access brokers, maybe firmware as the final frontier, ransomware at the hardware level, or ransom ops versus script kiddies, the professionalism of ransomware, or maybe decryption isn't the end, persistent threats about post-ransomware. Where would you like to go today on Jeopardy, Epic Jeopardy, Mr. Sig Murphy?
I think maybe we talk about the entire ecosystem of ransomware and how it's changing a little bit, changing a lot in the last year. So one of the things that we do at Intruvent, I founded the company to prevent intrusions and help people defend themselves. And one of the ways we do that, we have services that are meant to help folks before an intrusion or if they do get hit during an intrusion. But we also have some technology, and I have a preventative defense intelligence technology that I'm developing, that our company's developing, and that's been pretty cool. But it allows me and the team to really be exposed to a lot of different sources of threat intel and kind of really see what the attackers are doing and how they're evolving. What we've seen in the last year has been a transition to an entirely different ecosystem within ransomware. So if you all remember, back in the day, early 2000s, companies would sell directly to other companies for cybersecurity services or anything involved with cybersecurity, incident response, proactive services. Then the ecosystem changed a little bit. VARs came in, and then VARs started to have closer relationships with certain clients, and they provided access to certain clients that you wouldn't have before. Then we saw specializations going into the insurers and things like that. We've seen the same thing in ransomware, where we've seen initial access brokers who are really specialized into getting that initial foothold in the door on the victim network, really establish themselves as kind of a niche player. We've seen folks that sell ransomware as a service. Basically, they will give you their toolkit and instructions how to use it, and then you can get it onto that network. And we've also seen specializations where we have entire shops that specialize in maximizing the amount of ransom that companies will pay. So you might, as a victim, you might be exposed to 3, sometimes 4, even 5 different groups that are processing your attack, if you will. And that's really been a change. So it kind of pushes the focus back towards preventative more than, how do we detect after the fact. It's more towards now, we're back towards how do we defend against these attacks and make sure that initial access broker can't even get into the environment these days.
You got the Daves, Dave 1, Dave 2, or this is called Alfaro and White. What do you guys got anything to add to Sig's 2 cents there?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously I've lived the last 3 years kind of like almost below the operating system, if you will. And what's nice about it now is we're starting to even come up above that. And it's really more of supply chain. And again, speaking of Blackhat buzz, I think you're going to hear a lot of supply chain buzzing around Blackhat, because I mean, that's really where it comes down to. But if you think about where these guys are targeting, and Sig's talking about that initial access vector and where these guys are going after, think when that access vector drops down out of visibility. That's what I mean, say the stupid old phrase like, oh, what keeps you up at night? I mean, that basically just gives me straight like forever insomnia. Right. So I'm right there with you, Sig, because I think that's exactly right. That initial access vector is what they're going after. And when that change, I mean, because like let's face it, no one's getting any less clever, right? In their TTPs, right? And no one can speak to this better than Dave White. Right. Again, like we countermeasure, they countermeasure, we countermeasure, they countermeasure. But I mean, that's really where we're seeing it go.
Yeah, White, take us through over to the myth, right? The real RTO myth. How fast can you actually recover? Kind of transition from what Alfaro was throwing on the table and add to that.
Yeah, Dave, I appreciate the warm intro. Nothing like a Dave Alfaro warm intro, right? So, at Alvaca, we're right there in the trenches. We're oftentimes, unfortunately, we're meeting clients right of boom. They've been hit hard by ransomware attacks, right? And it affects every sector, every vertical, be it healthcare, retail, government, finance, education, manufacturing. We see it all. And it's really sad. It kind of all boils back to cybersecurity 101 things that can be put into place prior to an attack. These defensive pillars, right? Things like aggressive patching and eliminating these CVs, these vulnerabilities, be it software, hardware, at the firmware level, as we're dipping over into, Dave, the other Dave's side of the house. Just keeping your stuff updated is kind of, half the battle, right? And controlling, remote access, MFA, deploy it, and it's got to be deployed everywhere. And oftentimes we see that, these organizations that get hit, they don't have MFA in place. If they do, it's not everywhere, and it's where the threat actors, did their ingress. And then segmentation as another defense pillar. We're seeing, flat networks. And once the threat actors gain, elevated admin creds, they're able to go anywhere within the environment. So that's problematic. And then, we all came from, kind of the XDR, EDR, XDR side of the house. And just with SOCs and 24/7 eyes on glass monitoring, it's really imperative today to have this eyes on glass, third party looking at your environment, or if you have a robust internal IT SecOps group looking at your environment and taking action, and then of course immutable backups. That's the unfortunately, we see clients, they had fill in the blank backup technology, but it wasn't immutable. And, unfortunately, that's the first thing the threat actors do once they've stolen your data, is they go nuke the backups, and then they lock your entire.
I was just going to ask you that. How often are you guys finding the backups? Is it like 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10 are damaged or compromised as well?
Yeah, it's much higher than that, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah, I would say, along the lines of, 8 out of 10,
Wow.
the backups are toast. And they may have a solution in place, but unfortunately, they haven't set that solution up properly. They haven't configured it to be immutable so that those backups, are kind of safeguarded against, a threat actor attack on them. So that's one thing that we really, pride ourselves on here at Alvaca is, we're a 43-year-old IT, network security company, and building out immutable backups, 24/7 patching, patch management through our NOC services. Those are like our table stakes that we've been doing for, decades. And so, our network engineers get in on these ransomware recovery activities with a very, very methodical punch list of things to do to, contain and eradicate the threat actor, and also, harden the environment so that the client's in a better place moving forward. But realistically, it's patching, it's backups, and making sure your operating systems are in this decade.
So I'm curious. Thanks for that, Dave. I'm curious, you guys, where you get your feed and things that you guys are reading on a daily basis, and then obviously doing this, talking amongst yourselves. What have you guys heard in the world of, professional ransomware, these groups, these operations? Like, obviously, you don't have to drop any company names, but can you guys give like any examples in the last few months of something you've read where it was what you would declare a little mind-blowing, like, wow, I haven't heard about that yet? So you want to take that first?
Yeah, I can take that one just to start. But the thing that's really been mind-blowing to me is the use of voice-based AI voice phishing. and the attackers will come in, and they don't necessarily copy someone's voice exactly, but they get pretty close, and they will call in and try and either seed an attack chain. So I'm going to send you an email. It's got something I really need you to review. So just when you get it, just click on it real quick. I need the review quickly. Or they act like they're someone in a position of power, and they just basically spray voicemails after hours. Hey, this is so and so. I'm from your board of directors office, XYZ, and I really need access to your CRM system or something like that. Let me know when you get this, and I'm going to be following this up with another email, and that's really reinforcing their type of attack chain. It's getting really smart. The one thing I'll tell the audience, and I actually have some colleagues that are in kind of the good side of AI voice, and using it for customer service and other normal business practices. And currently, there's still a latency. The scripts are getting better. The voices are sounding better. They sound very human. But there's usually a latency after you speak if you're talking to an AI. The key right now, and this is probably going to change in 2 months, but if you interrupt an AI when they're doing their script, it will throw them off, and it will cause a large pause before they are able to kind of reconstitute the conversation and come back in.
I do that all the time, actually, because I get cold calls all the time, as I'm sure you guys do, and that's exactly what I do. Oh, really? Can you tell me more about that? Hey, is the sky blue today? Like whatever but you're right, because they are even getting better at even having a laugh, right?
Yeah.
But we have to always be diligent and on top of it. Alfaro, did you have anything to add? Any stories?
No, I'm just thinking that auto fish just happens constantly, and it directly follows your, hey, I got this new job on LinkedIn, right? And again, that automatically starts following that, the CEO starts asking you to basically send him, $6,000 in Apple cards, or these sort of things. So it all basically follows that. But again, I'll go back to my earlier statement, and these guys aren't getting any less crafty. And basically, the tools that are at their hands. You used to have to be a smart guy to actually craft an exploit. Now all you need to do is prompt.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Good point.
And you're coding this, and then further, right? You're just like, hey, that didn't work. Can you adjust it a little bit? Boom. Right. It's right there. So
they're using. So I'll double click down that rabbit hole a little bit. Some of these groups are using, AI chatbots for ransomware negotiation. Right. Yeah. And they're using Gen AI to craft social engineering campaigns, write malware, like Dave mentioned. It's becoming AI driven phishing negotiations now. And then to go to Sig's point, they're social engineering everything, including we've seen some help desk impersonations, right? Where they're leveraging AI to gain that initial access and then push the ransomware, via remote tools. But it all starts with, AI generated help desk impersonations. So they're getting super crafty.
Well, it's like a double-edged sword, right? It's sad, but as good as the tech is getting in every area, it's also dangerous in every area. A company I was advising for first half of this year, I can talk about it. It's public. White Rabbit Neo. You guys are probably all familiar with White Rabbit Neo. And when I got my eyes on it for the first time, and by the way, when it was introduced to me, I'm not like you guys. I'm in front of the customer selling, but you guys are doing stuff behind the scenes and selling. But when it was first introduced to me, I was amazed on how many people in the SOC use this tool to help them with the remediation. What is this? How do I fix it?
Right.
On the flip side of that coin, what do I need and how do I go destroy it? It's just dangerous. And I'm nothing against White Rabbit Neo. There's tons of them, LLMs that are out there now. So I just put it up on the screen, decryption. Who can talk to me about, look, once they own you, and that's when I threw out, hey, I was asking you why out of every 10, how many are getting their backups? Once they're in, I think the chances of them coming back is in the high 70s, because they have that, what do you guys call it? Is it like a backdoor? There's something that they've set up to where, oh, I owe you today, and I'll be back when I'm ready on my. So how do you go in, guys, and do more thorough remediation to make darn sure you have, done a proper scan thorough enough to really seek out, is there anything else here I need to know about? And that probably too, Alfaro, keeps you up at night, right? Because I know that that's something back in the Threat Zero days, you prided yourself and the team, Sig, all of you guys, Dave, you in the lab, like what's out there? Like what else can you do? Or what are some of the best practices any of you guys are doing within your companies? Who wants to take that?
I'll jump on that. Obviously, once someone's been crypted, that's a whole thing, and that way falls more over to Sig and Dave's, side of the farm there. But really, when you're thinking about that post ransomware or even the persistence is what I'm kind of latching onto there. And I had like a just ridiculously disturbing thought the other day when we were talking about this and thinking about ransomware, but I'll go there. But when we're talking about like what we do and how you can kind of proactive and get in front of that, like one of the things that I love at Binarily, I'm surrounded by just ridiculously smart people. We're founded by researchers. I think we have like 9 or 10 PhDs, which is absurd. But all that said, it's the brain power behind that. And we're basically uplifting a lot of these different vulnerabilities out of the supply chain. So even out of Linux containers and embedded secrets and these sort of things, but a lot of it's coming from firmware as well. And what we're finding there is you're getting persistence and you're basically getting vulnerabilities that will allow you to go in and remove the security layers that are put in, like in BIOS. It's called Secure Boot, right? So if you're basically have all these folks that are going in there, they're basically leveraging vulnerabilities that we're publishing left and right. I think we're like at 950 CVEs over the last like 3 years or something crazy like this. But we're able to go in and actually look at that level of vulnerability and attack. And if you're down at that level and you disable the protections put in place for that, it is absolutely game over, right? And the super disturbing thought that I had, because there is no, it's ultimate persistence. You can't reinstall, you can't reboot, you can't, it doesn't matter. It's still there, right? You're basically at the chip level. And if you ransomware from there, right? This is not ransomware as a service. This is ransomware as a monthly subscription.
Yeah.
Right. So think about that. If you ransomware at the firmware level, right? How do you get rid of it? You tech refresh, right? Have fun with that and your $30,000 NVIDIA, AI processor, right?
That right there is backing up and putting an exclamation point on what you dropped at the beginning about what's going to be a hot topic at Blackhat this year.
Dude,
supply
it's
chain.
all supply chain.
My God. And I think, and give him a shout out, our boy, Tom Pace over at NetRise.
Yep.
So ransomware 3.0, look, let's start now. Obviously everything we've talked about is going to be talked about at Blackhat, but now I'm really just focusing in on Blackhat. You guys are going to be there. You're all going to be there next week. Let's make sure that we plug, how you're going to be there, where you're going to be there. So anybody who wants to meet up with you guys, friends, family, network, and partners. So let's talk about partners, strategic partners. Sig, I'm going to start with you because I know White could talk this whole episode on this topic. I'm going to throw up. Sig, who are you really like top 5? You don't have to list the name, but if you want to here, do it. You got an early shot. Who are you really looking forward to meeting that could be a great strategic partner to help you grow out your brand, your business, and help improve it grow? Is there one particular bigger name brand? Is it, is it like go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm most excited to meet some of the people I've been working with for the last almost month now at Microsoft. I actually, I announced it on LinkedIn, but didn't do it justice necessarily. But Intruvent was welcomed into the startup cohort with Microsoft, and so I've been working with the team.
Very nice, congratulations!
Thank you.
Fantastic. Yes,
they gave us a generous grant to really kind of turbocharge the development of our MVP, and I'm excited to meet the folks that I've been working with there, and that our team's been working with, and getting some really good advice from. But other than that, it's the kind of movers and shakers. So we've got friends. I think all of us collectively have friends at Halcyon doing a great job. Defy Security, those folks are killing it. Of course, Cybertar, our old boss, Corey and his team. These two guys and their teams, always excited to talk tech with them. And then, of course, you mentioned Tom and the NetRise team. So I'm excited to meet all of those folks. And one thing for further discussion later, for the ransomware 3.0, we probably need to also put an additional category in there. A lot of times lately, especially for larger clients, we're seeing that the ransomware is actually coordinated with like a nation state or APT attack. So they've got the front door being burned down with ransomware, and everybody's focused on that. And the low and slow guys are in the back end making sure that they have persistence, and they're going to have persistence for a long time.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
Absolutely crazy. White, throw it out. You got to probably out. I mean, look, you're a man on a mission, and I know the targets you're looking for. But is there anybody or any event, maybe anything in particular that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean,
kill 3 birds with one stone at one event.
Yeah, there's. I'm really looking forward to just kind of double clicking into the industry leaders in the various tech spaces. These are some of the top MSSPs, some of the top DFIR companies. Even though this event's not wrapped around cyber insurance, there'll be insurance folks there. This is kind of our ecosystem, right? We're in the trenches helping our victim clients, kind of get out of that nuclear crater and get hardened and squared away moving forward. So it's all of the players that are involved in that mission. So looking forward to chatting people up, and then of course, obviously seeing all of our peers and other like-minded professionals in the industry, and just kind of talking about the new latest greatest trends. Double, now even triple extortion, that these threat actors are leveraging, and just making additional contacts and networking is kind of what I'm all about. So, hit me up on LinkedIn if you're interested in syncing up with the Alvaca team, and we'll find a place and time to sync up.
You might have a hard time though, because Dave just hit 25,000 followers.
Right.
And that's just because he can do a hula hoop on his BN.
That's right. There might be several AI bots that I'm friends with, but there is a whole slew of folks, and it's wonderful to have a LinkedIn kind of ecosystem like that to share knowledge and content back and forth. So I appreciate my network.
I love it, man. I love your story, and we'll definitely got to do a 101 to get that story out here on Epic Hype. Mr. Alfaro, speaking of new trends, talk to us about what Binarily is doing, shaking up hardware threat visibility. Anything that's going to be unveiled or already has been unveiled, or anything you can kind of tease here? First of all, you guys are going to have a booth. You guys going to have a booth? Yeah? Okay. So
we do have a booth. We do have a booth, so please come stop by and see me. Right over my shoulder there is what we call the case of 0 days, right? So it is literally a monitor that pops out. It's like a big battery powered. The only thing terrible about it is it's heavy. But again, we're going to be basically profiling how the platform can discover Linux 0 days, right? So we're well known for, and again, everybody knows this, and we're talking a whole lot about firmware, but really we've up-leveled a whole lot at Binarily. And we've started to enter into, like containers, Linux, IoT, RTOS, all these sort of things. So we basically brought all that stuff in. And now we're taking that core expertise that we brought to UEFI security. So it's not a little known fact, but we're well known for being able to discover 0 days within, so unknown vulnerabilities within the UEFI firmware. We're bringing that to Linux as well. Another amazing thing. Yeah, so it should be pretty cool, man, because like at that point, I mean, I've already seen it in action, and it's pretty impressive. Another great thing is we basically help people handle O days, right? Because it's like, what do you do if you're a vendor, you don't have source, right? And all of a sudden you're put in that position like, hey, wait a minute, I just discovered a 0 day vulnerability. What do I do, right? we've really dramatically simplified that process. So you can go, you can discover it, you can bring it in. And again, we're bringing everything in through binary. You find that O-Day, you review it, you chat with the AI bot and basically have it give you more, context or whatever you need. And you basically click the generate advisory button and it pops you out a vendor ready advisory and you ship that off to your vendor. And now, without being a researcher, without ever launching IDA Pro, right, or Ghidra or anything, or Binary Ninja or any of these sort of things, you're now basically proactively handling your own 0 days. And when your vendor gets off their rear end and fixes it, you bring in that subsequent version of that binary and you do a diff on it, right? So
that's great.
Awesome stuff, man.
Yeah, were you like the solo author of this whole model, or did you have a team?
So I relish the compliment, but I'm not that smart, EP. Thank you. No, man. This is basically a team of of just an amazing, like I mentioned, I think it's 9 or 10 PhDs within the company.
Wow.
We have we're a research. Binarily was basically built on research, right?
Okay.
Like I said, man, there's 950 CVEs published over the last 3 years, right? It speaks for itself.
Amazing what you guys are finding, and the best part, sharing to help everybody learn and get protected. But then it's the execution. Just wind this all the way back to when Dave White was saying 8 out of 10 are obviously not doing what they need to for basic cyber hygiene 101 on the backups or whatever it might be for setup. White, I'm going to stay with you for a minute. Let's talk about this area. One that I was actually pretty heavily involved in maybe a year and a half ago, and kind of threw my hands in the air like, man, insurance is such a messed up area for cyber. What are some of the new pressures, Dave White, in terms of what you're hearing, what you're seeing with the cyber insurance companies? I'm seeing, in fact, another silencer that I'm looking forward to meeting up with next week is going to be Jason Deering. He's over at Beasley. So I'm curious, what are some of the new trends or some of the new, things that you're hearing or seeing that you're liking that are going in the right direction, or any one of you guys?
I interact with insurance carriers, daily, and I think something that I like to see that they're doing is a lot of assessment-based. They're doing assessments now, and not just paper-based assessments like they did back in the days, but they're leveraging tools to actually identify issues within their prospective insured's environments, and percolating that to the top so that those issues and vulnerabilities can get remediated, which is really great because obviously that lessens the risk to the carrier. Right, because that environment is getting its vulnerabilities, kind of ticked and tied, if you will, and it puts the client, the insured, in a much better place as well against thwarting off a ransomware attack, which is always great. I'm a huge left of boom proactive, assessment, guy, and it's really challenging to get clients to kind of think about that. And kind of get ahead of their worst day. So that's what I like that I'm seeing in the industry.
You guys, it's amazing. We've been talking for about 35 minutes. I commend you. This is the first episode I've recorded in quite a long time. We haven't talked about AI. So thank you very much. It feels so good. But I'm going to go there a little bit, Sig Murphy. I love where you're going, and I want you to kind of zone in on it because every 10 out of 10, I go find a podcast today, AI, right?
Sure.
AI's in your Cheerios. Sig, you're doing something new though. You've got new technology. I want you to talk about the buzzwords. Put them on deck. Quantum. Let's get it out there because I know where you're going. And I had Shaggy, right, Shefferman on here.
Yeah. Yep.
Last week, and I don't know if you guys caught that episode, but he's new. He's got a new gig, and he's all in, literally own money, founder, partner, and he's admitting this is way ahead of everything else, and his passion is in on it because he wants to protect his, I think, 11-year-old daughter, her future. So talk to me a little bit about, Sig, where you're going and what Intruvent, what the technologies are specific, if without getting too nerdy on us. Because I think when people find you next week, I really want them to nerd out with you and go deeper based on what they're going to hear here.
Sure.
And I did say here twice. Sorry about that.
Here, everybody. That's great.
Really did.
Here. Yeah, I used to love hearing Stu talk at Cylance, and he would start a lot of the discussions with clients as, we're an AI company, and my goal at Intruvent and what we've been developing and designing is, we are an AI company as well, and we are integrating defensive AI to help people focus on the right stuff before a breach. So we have two different technologies, and one of them's it's an agent-based AI that I built myself at the beginning of the company's life cycle. And back then it was a little harder to do. The technology is rapidly evolving to the point where now, OpenAI just put out their own agent that's a generalist, which can do so many things. But we have an agent called Nova, which is actually, it will take any type of technical cybersecurity feed, and I'll talk about feeds in a second, but it can be an article, it can be a JSON file with indicators, and it will actually do cross-correlation research, and then it will put it into a conversational output. So it can be something that I would throw into our newsletter, which we put out every 2 weeks. It could be something that I would use for a client report, but it does a really good job of kind of demystifying like the really technical topics. Yeah. That's kind of the lower end, not to make Nova mad or anything, but I use that AI all the time, but it's pretty straightforward what it does. The other end is our cyber threat intelligence and our predictive defense intelligence platform, which is called Brace. And basically, the tool, it sits up in the cloud, and it takes open source intelligence feeds. It takes vetted cybersecurity articles and other vetted sources for cybersecurity, CTI, cyber threat intelligence. And then we have some HoneyNet and honeypot type feeds coming in that we've developed to try and simulate or emulate some really attractive targets for kind of the big bads out there. Very cool. And it takes all that data, and it basically will track the attackers and what they're doing and what changes they are making to their tactics, techniques, and procedures. The goal of the tool and what it's been really good at is it can spit out for a vertical, let's say healthcare. It can actually spit out, here are the top 5 threats that have been hitting healthcare in the last 30 days. Here's how their tactics map to MITRE ATT&CK. And here is where CISOs, decision makers, lead investigators, lead security folks, here's where you should focus your attention and or resources on hardening for the next 30 days. So it's actually you're creating a scope that's actually that much more filtered, showing them where to be looking and what they need to be doing to prevent those problems. Exactly. That's awesome, Sig. That's really cool. I love how you guys all do different things in this world with cyber, and then, ransom prevention, detection, and how it's so cool because I know you guys could all, and I said this to you guys in an email, act like we're all sitting at a bar having a pint. What are we talking about? And you guys do this, and we'll be doing this next week, and are helping each other, which is super cool because these strategic relationships mean everything. Just like I said, I got a guy, Dave White. I got a guy, Dave Alfaro. I got a guy, Sig Murphy. Hey, guys, this is awesome. I'm just looking at the clock, and I know you guys all took an hour up for me, which is saying a lot. So I got to get one more good laugh out of you guys before we leave here today. So we're going to play a real quick game called Blackhat Fun Facts. I got 5 of them. I'm going to throw them up, and there's no particular order. You guys just jam at it, throw it out there, see what you got, test your knowledge, and this is pretty damn easy, a little bit of fun. What year was the first Blackhat conference held, gentlemen? Ooh. So I think I was there, which is going to make it terrible.
I'm going to go 2001.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
That's what I think.
I'll concur.
B, 1997.
Oh, man, I was not there. Okay.
Who founded Blackhat, the conference itself?
Oh, come on.
Oh, Jeff, Dark Tangent.
Yeah.
Yep.
DT.
Mr. Moss. Is he related to Bob Moss by any chance? Probably not. Okay. Number 3. What's the unofficial nickname for the week of Blackhat and DEF CON? Unofficial name.
Ooh, interesting.
Unofficial name.
Yes.
I think it's
summer camp.
I think it's C. I think it's Hacker Summer
You
Camp.
are correct.
Yeah.
Summer camp. And the last one, I think this is the last one. Nope, we got 2 more. Which famous casino resort will never host the Blackhat USA briefings?
Well, hopefully not Circus.
That is the answer. And I don't know if you guys know, but I heard that might be imploding, not from a cyber attack, but like literally.
Oh my gosh.
Alfaro, have you ever taken the kids there?
I have, and I was concerned.
It's a free entertainment. Back in the day, I remember you could show up in Vegas with $100. You go to Slots of Fun, get your beers, play nickel slots, go to Circus, and have a free show, amongst other shows. All right,
I'm gonna go B on that one.
I think it's Caesar's Palace.
Security. Answer is
Raining Days, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Black Hat trainings.
Black Hat trainings.
Oh, D. Nice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Good times, guys. Listen, super fun. I want to give you guys one more opportunity to plug, give a website, give a LinkedIn. I'll just go in my chronological order. Sig, you go first. Where can people find you? Where can they find your website? Most importantly, those going to Blackhat, where can they find you next week?
Sure. Yeah. So Intruvent is intrusion prevention. So intruvent.com. And I will be on the floor Wednesday and Thursday, doing meetings, walking around, saying hi to everybody. And if you want to see a demo of our MVP, stop by. I've also got some, let's just say if you want to do a test flight, then see me as well. You might see some stuff flying around.
All right. I like it. Mr. White.
Yeah, right here, alvaca.net. You can hit us up there. I too will be Wednesday, Thursday, running around the vendor booths and the whole area of Vegas. So feel free to hit me up on LinkedIn. And looking forward to meet new people and seeing lots of old friends.
Love it. And then rounding it up, Mr. Alfaro.
For sure. We will be at the booth in force binarily. So, again, definitely stop by and see us on the floor. We're also hosting a couple events, right? So we are celebrating FRAC's 40th anniversary. So those of you basically who know FRAC Magazine, right, we're hosting that. So that should be a lot of fun with some old school DEF CON dudes, right? Nice. So looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean, honestly, if you want to see where we're at from supply chain and basically get kind of a picture into what that what vulnerability looks like and what you need to know to understand the risk along with supply chain, way aside from an SBOM or basically a report or whatever, if you really want to see what's going on and where threats exist below that, below the surface and below source code, come see us.
But you guys hit it right there, man. Got a motley crew, gentlemen here, a lot of brains on the show. I don't know I'm here. I feel privileged to get to share it with you guys. Can't wait to see you guys next week. I will be at -5. You guys can find me from 4 to 6 hanging out with Jen Winters and the innovation group there of startups. And I got some really fun hype news to be announcing at 5 o'clock at -5. So I hope you guys are going to be there hanging out with me. Other than that, gentlemen, au revoir. Have safe travels out to Blackhat. And thanks for helping me with the pre-hype here on Epic Hype. I'll let you guys all get back to your normal lives. Stay good.
Thanks,
of course,
cheers.
Keep it an epic day, guys. I'll catch you guys soon.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to finish up shop here. It's nice to have those gents on. Lots of fun. go find my banner to do the close up. Here we go. All right, 2 Daves and a Sig. You can't get any better than that, man. That was a fantastic episode right here on Epic Hype. If you guys want to get more information and watch some more cool videos, more lowdown on what's happening at Blackhat, what's happening in cybersecurity, what's happening in AI. Look at that. We hardly talked about AI here today. That was actually a really nice thing, wasn't it? You guys need to hop over to the website, which is Epic Starts with EP. You guys can also go to the YouTube channel to get more information, which is Epic Starts with EP. And you can watch short videos, long videos, whole versions of great episodes just like this one. And next week, we're going to have some more. I'm going to actually be taking a break for Blackhat, and then we'll get back after it soon thereafter. And like I said, September's ramping up to be a lot of fun. And get out to Blackhat. If you're going to be out there, make sure you find these guys. Make sure that you find some more of the great startups that are coming up and around the bend. We announced and talked about the startups and the spotlight that are taking place at the Blackhat Startup Competition. That's a startup spotlight competition. And looking forward to seeing you guys out there. Track me down. And outside of that, I want to say one more thanks to Tier 4 for being our sponsor today. That's Tier 4 AI. And outside of that, it's time to go. Tied up with a bow. My name is EP, reminding you that everything epic does start with EP. And I hope you guys all have one incredible epic day. See you guys on the next episode.